Oh, hey! How long have you been here? I was just about to try an experiment. Want to watch?
Yeah!
This experiment is going to be fun, and it will be so much more fun with friends. It's called Will It Sink or Will It Float? I have a tub of water, and we're going to try and make a guess as to whether each item is going to sink or float. Ready? Okay. Do you think this boat will sink or float?
Sing!
It floats. Next, a metal key. Do you think it will sink or float?
Sink!
It sinks. How about this bouncy ball? Sink or float?
Float!
Hey, Lizzie, what are you doing?
I was just doing an experiment with my friends.
Oh, hi. So tell me about your experiment.
The experiment is called Will It Sink or Will It Float? The boat floats, but the metal key and the bouncy ball, they sink.
Well, that makes me think of a question for you to consider. If the boat floats today, will the same boat float tomorrow?
Of course, if it's true today, it's going to be true tomorrow.
Well, that makes me think of a great Bible story that talks about something else that is true every day. Do you want to hear it?
Yeah!
All right. Let's take a look here. This story is from the book of 1 Kings. And this story happened during a sad time for the Israelites. You see, the Israelites had turned their hearts away from God. And many of the Israelites had decided they didn't want to be close to God. They weren't worshiping God. They were worshiping pieces of stone they called Baal. And they were saying this stone was God, which doesn't make any sense, does it?
No.
But Elijah chose to worship the real God, and he was speaking to Elijah just like he speaks to you and to me. Over and over, Elijah told the Israelites that they should turn their hearts to God. Do you think they listened?
Yes!
Sadly, they didn't. And Elijah went to the king Ahab and said, "Let's see if your piece of stone is really a god. Call all the Israelites and we'll see who is the one true God." So everyone gathered. It was a huge group of people. They were all wondering what would happen. The people who served the stone, Baal, gathered around a pile of wood and asked Baal to send down fire and burn up the wood. And of course, nothing happened, because a piece of stone isn't God. And they called out for hours and hours, and still nothing happened. Then it was Elijah's turn. Elijah wanted everyone who was watching to know that God is the one true God.
That's our faith fact today. God is the one true God. Let's ring the bell and say it again. God is the one true God.
Before Elijah prayed to God, he did something to make sure that the people would all know God answered his prayer and did a miracle.
Grandpa, we have a clue.
This carries a liquid we need to drink every day.
What could it be? Should we put on our binoculars?
In this bottle is something we can also use to wash our hands.
A water bottle. Grandpa, what does water have to do with our story?
Well, do you remember what puts out fire and keeps wood from burning?
Water!
Water.
Exactly. Elijah had helpers pour gallons and gallons of water over the wood. And then Elijah prayed a simple prayer. He asked God to send down fire so the Israelites would know He is the one true God. Elijah prayed that the Israelites would turn their hearts back to God. And when Elijah finished his prayer, God did a miracle. He sent down fire from heaven and burned up everything that had been covered in water.
Wow, that's amazing.
And all the Israelites said out loud, "God is the one true God."
Has God always been the one true God? Grandpa, another
This keeps track of weeks and months.
What could it be? Should we put on our binoculars?
It has the words Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday on it.
A calendar.
God was the one true God yesterday, and God is the one true God today, and God will be the one true God tomorrow. So on the day of our Bible story, when God did that fantastic miracle and sent down fire, He was the one true God. And the next day, even if the people didn't see a miracle, He was God. Lizzie, even when you were just a baby, God's promises were true. Even on the day you were born, God loved you, He saw you, and He treasured you. You see, you will have days in your life where you will see God's miracles, and He is the one true God on those days. On the days when you don't see any miracles, but He's with you as you go to school or eat dinner or go to bed, well, He is who He says He is. And when you and I have days where we feel sad or alone or have a big problem, even on those days, God is the one true God. And every day of your life, you can trust what you know about Him.
I love reading Bible stories with you, Grandpa. Talking with you makes me feel good inside.
Oh, thank you, Lizzie. I love you.
Now, there's only one important question left for you. Do you think the water bottle will sink or float?
Well, that's a good question. Well, you know, there's only one way to find out.
Slapstick Theater, Elijah on Mount Carmel. This is Elijah.
Hey-o!
Elijah was a prophet in Israel during the reign of King Ahab. His job was to tell people what God wanted them to hear. This is King Ahab.
Whatever.
He came from a line of kings who did bad things, but King Ahab was the worst of them all. He led the Israelites to do evil things as well, and they turned away from God and started worshiping a fake god called Baal. God told Elijah to go speak with Ahab. Elijah told Ahab to bring all of Israel and the prophets of Baal to join him on Mount Carmel. So Ahab did as Elijah asked. Then Elijah stood in front of them and said, "If the Lord is God, follow him. But if Baal is God, then follow him." But the people were completely silent. Elijah called for 2 bulls and told the prophets of Baal that they could choose the one they wanted to sacrifice to Baal. They could put it on the altar but not set fire to it. Elijah said, "I will prepare the other bull and lay it on the wood on the altar, but not set fire to it. Then call on the name of your God, and I will call on the name of the Lord. The God who answers by setting fire to the wood is the true God." And all the people agreed.
Yeah!
Elijah let the prophets of Baal go first.
All right, you first.
They prepared the sacrifice and called on the name of Baal from morning till noontime, shouting, "O Baal, answer us!" But there was no reply of any kind.
Hey!
Elijah began mocking them. "You'll have to shout louder. Perhaps he is away on a trip or is asleep and needs to be wakened." So they shouted louder and raved all afternoon until the evening. But still there was no sound, no reply, no response.
Everyone come here.
Then Elijah called to the people. They all crowded around him as he repaired the altar of God that had been torn down and dug a trench around the altar. Then he had some men pour water on the altar 3 times. Elijah walked up to the altar and prayed, "God, prove today that you are God in Israel and that I am your servant. Answer me so these people will know that you are God and that you have brought them back to yourself." Immediately, the fire of the Lord flashed down from heaven and burned up the sacrifice, the wood, the stones, and the dust. It even licked up all the water in the trench. And when all the people saw it, they fell face down on the ground and cried out, "The Lord! He is God! Yes, the Lord is God!"